That's okay. I've done this before. So I've seen that. We've all seen people do this, right? And then you cut there, and that's going to give you length without any of the bulk here. What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to take a horizontal section. So I took a vertical parting there. Instead, I'm going to put my fingers in horizontally. Okay? And I'm going to elevate straight up. Now tell me, is it really you and me forever? Oh, oh, oh. Or is it hit and run? And those of you who don't know, that was a Paula Abdul reference.
Pleated pants, Paula Abdul.
You're like, well, why did we get together with a, like,
there's a marginal generation gap between us. Like, I just learned what a VHS was.
Oh, really? I have one.
I saw that one.
I'm just kidding, you guys. I only look like I'm 15.
He's really
40.
Are you 40?
That would be a lesson.
Yeah, you look great for 40. Okay, so what I'm doing is straight up, right? Right against the head. I'm going to make sure that I don't pull my length. Okay, so my length is right there, right? You may not have been able to see that. I can see it. It's right there. You see all this hair here that I can cut freely because I'm not touching her length at all. How come I didn't just take it vertically? Because when you hold it horizontally, you're actually going to have a direct mirror representation of what this hair is doing. So this hair goes in here, right? By me cutting this straight all in a 1/8, that's actually going to create more volume right here. Does that make sense? It's exact mirrored representation. Does that make sense? You want to watch me do it? Yeah. Okay. You're like, just shut up and cut it. So, really tight to the head. I like to give myself just a little bit of room to make sure that I'm not cutting any of her length. And I just cut. Straight up and cut. Now, in the salon, I stand obviously square to what I'm cutting. When I'm with you guys, I want to cut this way. It always gets a little wrinkly when I do it this way because like it's shorter here and longer there. Typically, you'd want to be right here. Okay? And what Justin was saying was neutral wrist position. That's really big for me right now, is keeping that wrist very straight. Because when you're up on the roof, and you see me working on the roof here in a second, I need to do this, straight. I can go, bam, straight every single time. If I do this, how hard is it for me to get that exact same position?
And it hurts.
It hurts. This is perfect every single time. Yeah, it's a neutral position, yeah? So I'll show you what I just cut. I'll take a cross section of that. And you can see it's going to be an exact mirrored representation of her nape. Is that cool?
Wow.
So imagine somebody comes in the salon, you have Chewbacca, right? It comes in the salon, she's got like 50 pounds of hair and like a ponytail that big, right? What if you did a pleat underneath, drop the hair over the top of it and cut that blunt? What happens to that? Did I just see, was that a yawn? Or
that was, you blew my mind. I already know what's happening.
Awesome.
I already know what's happening.
I thought you were just like a big yawn. I'm like, wow.
I was like,
and I'm out. So yeah, you have Chewbacca come to the salon. She has hair out to here. Chewbacca always wants bobs, doesn't she? And what happens when you cut Chewie's hair into a bob? Boom! No neck. Right? I just gave her a neck back.
It's like the little bubble.
Yeah. Does that make sense?
You're not Chewbacca.
No, she's got super skinny hair.
I got skinny hair.
It's okay. It's okay.
This is one of those classes.
So straight up, there's my guide. I'm just going to cut. But here's one little thing about cutting pleats. Do not let that pleat get into the next floor above it. Because then you're, like, you know, some people used to say, hairdressers don't make mistakes, we make new discoveries. Yeah, BS. Do something like that. That's a big old freaking mistake, man. And you can't just write that one off as texture. Do any of you guys follow me on Instagram?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you watch the video that Andy Bates' hair did on, it was mimicking me? Like I'm drinking a bunch of booze and like, is your hand shaking? It's like, it's just texture.
Yeah.
By the way, Andy Bates' hair is in the back of the room.
Oh.
So when I go to my next floor, I will braid that out of the way. Just so I make sure for sure that I will not cut that hair again. Right? It's gone now. It's a disconnection. Now, what I'm so freaking sick of in our industry is, oh, this haircut has 50,000 disconnections. 50,000 disconnections? That just means you didn't find your guide. Right? I think disconnections done tastefully are really nice. A buddy of mine talks about disconnections like clothing. Right? A disconnection. How many people wear full-length jumpsuits anymore?
A lot now.
Okay, thank you. Tuesday, will you usher her out of the room? Thanks. Not very many people can wear a full-length jumpsuit, correct? When you have disconnections in a haircut, you have your pants, you have a shirt, and you may have like some sort of accessory. Right? So I think if you do it well, if you do a well disconnection to where you can't tell that it's a disconnection, that's cool. If you do disconnections where they're like these big, like, boom, you know. If it's done tastefully, it's cool. If it's not done tastefully, you know, I don't know, go be a librarian or something.
Yeah, but realistically in this salon, disconnections are, I mean, they're few and far between, at least for my clientele. A lot of them have hair like this, longer, and they don't want a lot of disconnections, but they want versatility. This has all sorts of disconnected layers throughout, but the way that we go grading with, so the whole idea is parallel motion, which is going with the hair, going with the grain of the hair, and with, she's there. I see no texture. If she doesn't want to see it, she wants to flat iron her hair. The worst thing that I like, it's like my hugest pet peeve, is when people cut hair and they flat iron it as soon as they're done. And then the hair, the client goes and she flat irons her hair. They don't flat iron, they don't turn in, we don't teach them all that stuff. They just, right? And they bring out every discovery that you made in the haircut, right? But you're not discovering it, she's gone, she's out promoting your work. And she's flat ironing it out. If she flat irons her hair on her own time, I want it to look soft. If she curls it, okay, with a curling iron or a round brush, I want it to have that curled round brush look to it. Look at the body throughout. It's cohesive from top. So what was it? The roof, the basement. Okay, she's good looking from the roof to the roof.
Roof to the it's not hard.
Roof to the basement.
And your little square section's an elevator.
Yes.
It's that support, that support, isn't it?
This is why guys like him win Naha. Guys like me, I'm like,
Do you use deep light padding when you do your hair also?
did you see that? Did you see how deep I got with the 8.5 inch?
Yeah, because that's why you use that here, right?
Made a lot of sense, huh? So every hairdresser I talk to, they're like, hairdressing's all about education, it's all about learning. Oh, do you want to learn how to use an 8.5? No, I only use a 5. Is it really all about education, or are you just only about a 5? Like, I'm not only about anything.
See it?
Yeah, please. It's actually, it's once it's in your hand, it's not. Swear to God. Try having any other job and speaking euphemistic language. Yeah, see how long your career lasts.
And by the way,
That's the right job.
you know, hairdressing, I mean, I usually start all my classes like, if I offend you, turn in your license.
Yeah, I'm a member of one of these forums online that so everybody educates each other, but like it's really just like blind leading blind sometimes. Some people are like, you can't do this. This is what I was taught in beauty school. And I'm like, come on, listen, we could all learn from each other. We all do all sorts of stuff like that. But
What time is this class?
I have no idea. But they get people get offended all the time on those things, and it's like, why get offended? Hairdressers, we're abrasive people. We are nuts. Every single hairdresser I know is completely freaking nuts.
We're artists.
Yeah. So
No, I'm not an
it's
artist.
better now. It's nice and
You are
romantic.
though.
I'm not.
But
I'm a craftsperson. I get paid right away.
I am, what is that? Stephen Lightfoot says we are the sum of everything we've ever learned. We're not artists, we're craftsmen.
Yeah.
You barely cut it off.
Oh yeah, look.
That's amazing.
Thank you. So, did you guys see how I cut the fringe from inside out if we cut with the cuticle layer? One, it's going to last longer. Picture this, haircuts every 4 to 6 weeks. We're like, you should, or 6 to 8 weeks, right? You should come in every 6 to 8 weeks. That's what they taught me in beauty school. You know how many of my clients come in every 6 to 8 weeks? None. Dudes,
Thank you, Kimbo.
Dudes, yeah, right? And so, every 6 to 8 weeks, right? And then we're like, oh yeah, 3 inches. Yeah, 3 inches every 6 to 8 weeks. I wish my hair grew that fast. But here's the thing, if you do have those clients, because we do, that come in every 6 to 8 weeks, if they're paying you $50 every 6 to 8 weeks, turn them into 12 to 18 week haircuts. All you're doing is cutting with the cuticle, so you have less split ends, okay? But then you're marketing yourself differently. And this is what this class is about. I want everybody to make more money, right? But seriously, go home and try this out. Try it on one person. Just see if it works, okay? If you have somebody that's in every 6 weeks, tell them you're going to do a 12-week haircut that you learned at ISSC Long Beach. I'm going to do a 12-week haircut, and I'm going to save you $25. My haircut's now $75. Because every 12 weeks, she's giving you $100. So say, give me $75 for this haircut, and it's going to last 12 weeks. If you want a dusting in between, you come in, same thing as like, you know, like a little bang trim, right? Those are free sometimes, some people. Come in 6 weeks, and I'll do a quick little dusting. You guys saw how I sectioned off, over-directed to 180 degrees, and just trimmed the little ends? Do that for free. You just come in with your hair like that. Now you have a $75 haircut. You have increased your price faster and higher than you would have slowly walking them into your $65 haircut. Make sense? Give her a hand for being a model. Much more volume.
Okay. Let me just stand up for 1 second. So I face framed and cut layers at the same time. Ben, have a seat. Face it that way now. So what I did was I took right at her part. I took about a finger thick parting, like mohawk section, right over her parting, right? Held it straight up, and I was very conscious of my elbow. And this is, I've been working on this a lot when we teach, is, again, that neutral wrist position, but this elbow becomes your protractor, right? So, if it's there, that's my angle that I cut with. I know that the shoulder can bring that elbow right there, and I know that that is the angle that I'm going to cut. I don't have to see my guide. Does that make sense?
Wow.
Because my elbow is where my guide is going. I know that I can go right here, and that's where I was. Does that make sense? So I don't have to see it. I still see it. I don't have to because my hands are going to tell me right where it is. Muscle memory, like he was talking about. But again, if we're here, or if we're here doing it, it's not going to work. Now, here's my question. If my fingers, the inside of my fingers were shorter towards the front of the head, and it increased to longer, when I move around her head, it has to be the exact same. Is that correct? Shorter to longer on this side. Now, if I stood on this side, can I get the same angle feasibly as I was here? I can. It's going to be difficult. So what do I need to do? To cut this side, I have to stand here still. Does that make sense? So that means I have to push my hair in to my guide. Standing on this side, taking a little piece of what I just cut. I'll give it right back over to here in a sec, Justin.
Nope, you're good.
So I have to push my hair into my guide. So I'm on the other side of the hair combing my guide. My last cut that I do is going to be pushing in. Can you see that? Again, wonky chair, I can't spin it around, right? But I want you to see, I'm here pushing it into the guide, and then I cut. There's that is, my guide right there. Exact same angle all the way up, and cut. Does that make sense? Okay? Cool. Yours.
Her hair is, this is the model that I originally looked, right? So, it's very fine texture, is tangly hair. It's very easily tangled, okay? My goal is to make that easier on her, and hopefully on myself, right? Beautiful shape. This is the kind of hair, it'll always have a beautiful shape if it's cut right, okay? But it's kind of movementless, it's lifeless, okay? Volume will happen, but only because she's got that kind of, it's almost like, it's To me, like when you snuggle with them, it gets stuck in your facial hair, right? Jesse, yeah. You always have like a 12 o'clock shadow, so it's like 12. Yeah, it's like Brillo pad, right? So what I want to do is I want to make it easy for her. So one of the things that I love to do is I love to prep hair before I cut it. It's just doing things backwards, okay? Because she's so used to having, oh, so what are we doing today? This is the worst consultation, okay? I work with 9 other hairdressers in a 5-chair salon. It's very tiny, okay? But we do a lot of hair in the salon. And I sit next to, or I stand next to other hairdressers, and I swear to God, the phenomenal hairdresser, but his consultations suck. And he's like, so what are we doing today? It's like, okay, yeah, she's been on your book for 6 weeks for a haircut. What are we doing? Haircut, move on.
Can you imagine a doctor saying that?
Yeah. So what are we doing today? I think I have something. Oh, well, what do you think it is? How much time do you allow yourself to look at your issue? You know, your doctor. Yeah, yeah. WebMD, I have cancer. So, yeah, don't let them self-diagnose their hair or anything like, I have a tendency to pull red. Well, no crap, everybody does. Why? It's the most dominant pigmentation in the hair if you have anything light or darker than level 5, right? Because 5 is red. Okay, so don't let them control. You control it. A friend of mine, Ted Gibson, is one of the best hairdressers I know, right? $1,250 freaking dollars for a haircut. $1,250. And he's not doing much different than what this guy does.
Oh, I kind of better.
And yeah, there you go. But check this out. Why does he get paid $1,250? Because they're paying for the experience. They're paying for his professional opinion. Everybody in this room is a professional hairdresser. We need to realize that again. We need to realize that we can purvey that information to them. But let's do something they haven't heard. Let's do something they haven't seen. So prepping the hair in the beginning rather than just, so what are we doing? Oh, let's go shampoo every problem that you have in the hair that I didn't really actually look at. I just want your money. Okay, how about I actually prep the hair and I get a blow dryer through it, move some round brushes, right? Like I love these Ibiza brushes a lot, right? So I love to move natural hair because they're all board bristle brushes, yes. And so I like board bristle. I don't like the vent brushes because it steams hair and it hurts the client and it just damages hair. I like to be soft and elegant and beautiful. That's what I like. So a lot of my clients, eventually, you have, I got my buddy Key in the back. He does, he's like one of the best hairdressers. Actually, he's probably the best hairdresser in Hawaii, right? And everybody's looking at that. I'm kidding. Seriously, that guy's Instagram, he posts every single woman he does. Long hair, painted on hair color, top notch, blow dry, everybody gets the treatment, right? That's when you start to do 1, then 5, then 15, then 100. Then you're making all sorts of cool money, and then you can fly your butt from freaking Hawaii all the way to LA and have a great week, right? So I'm gonna prep her hair just a little bit for the cut, and it'll also help me get the shears to it because I can barely get my hands through it. And then if you can talk over a hairdryer for a second.
I can talk over it. I only have 1 volume, you know that. Like 11 and off.
Yeah.
You know, it's actually a really good point that he was saying about what are we doing today, just a trim or just a touch-up? I had dinner with a friend of mine. We were talking about how, you know, the recession's over. I mean, really, it's over now. But hairdressers aren't really feeling that it's over because we're still doing trims and touch-ups and we're still doing ombres. And yeah, ombres are around. I mean, they're still going to be around. But to be honest, I want my clients to come in more often than to grow out of the ombre. You know what I'm saying? That's why I hate Kimbo, because he's the guy that supposedly came up with that. Right? I need you to come in more often. And just doing trims and touch-ups and all that, we're not going to save ourselves. The hairdressing messiah died. BeautyHealthTravel has been dead for a couple of years now. Right? In order for us to save ourselves, we have to save ourselves. No more trims, no more touch-ups. When clients come into our salon, who do they want to look for as inspiration for their hair? You? Awesome. Great, yes. But who else? Right? Jennifer Aniston, J-Lo, Taylor Swift. And
Kardashian.
So, Kardashian, correct. So, Kardashian. And what do they all look like? They're like beige, shoulder-length hair, am I correct? Do you know why Jennifer, who am I talking about? Jennifer Aniston wore that beige shoulder-length hair? Because she doesn't have a shelf life of a starlet anymore. Right? She's pretty much over now as an actress. I'm sorry. She should have stayed with Brad. I think his wife is. I think that she has like a mind control spell on him. But, wait, where am I going?
Beige hair.
Okay, beige hair. Why do starlets have beige hair? Because they only have a shelf life of about 6 years and then they disappear. That's less than a football player. Right? They have to have beige hair because their directors are like, I want you to have short black hair for this role and long blonde hair for that role. So our clients see that and they're like, I want to look like Jennifer Aniston. They make me look like her. First of all, she doesn't look like her. Right? Jennifer's extensions are more than she makes in a year. Okay? So in our salon, I decided to take all magazines out of my salon. I don't want starlets, to be their inspiration. I want them to see what I do and what I enjoy doing. And I enjoy doing stuff that's interesting. So we don't do just trims and touch-ups anymore. We change them. And even if that change is just a slight, go from that blinking bang, where they blink their bangs, to a little bit higher to show off their eyes. Something so they're always consistently moving so they don't get bored. Dude, they're bored just like we are. Does that make sense? And everybody's like, oh, I look to the fashion industry for what I think is cool. What have they done for us? Nothing. In the past 20 years, what is the big collection for anybody? Long, wet, freaking ponytails. Woohoo! So that's my whole thing is let's stop listening to other people and do what's cool in our area.
Right.
And thank you very much. And when you thank you. And when you come to these shows, don't. And I'm going to write a whole rant about this. I didn't want to write it. I don't know if you guys follow me on Facebook. If you don't, you should. I'm going to write a whole blog about educators and hair shows. And the biggest thing that I can't freaking stand is the educator that's too good that's trying to tell me what I have to do in the salon. And to be honest, Paducah, Kentucky, Oxnard, California, Portland, Oregon, like myself, is not New York. So don't try and tell me what I need to do. I don't care if you get $1,200 for a haircut. I get $75 in my town, and that's the most expensive one in my town. That's all that matters. Does that make sense? So stop telling me what to do.
Most of those stage artists don't actually work in the salon.
Yeah, totally. So they're not hairdressers anyway. I'm sorry I went off on a rant.
As an educator for a company, we're a scissor company. Hottori Hanzo is here. I don't have to talk about shampoo. I don't have to tell you what this shampoo has flaxseed oil and it's kosher and gluten-free. Kosher and gluten-free. It's gluten-free hair stuff. It's a dead protein cell. Gluten intolerance is a stomach processing problem. If you eat your shampoo, then you want it. So let me point something out. We are bringing Hottori Hanzo shoes. We are signing up all the best hairdressers in the industry, all of them. And they're slowly joining our team because we're bringing real education to the point where we rant about stuff that we're like, okay, let's take back the industry. And I know everybody says that every single year. I've been doing hair shows for almost 5 years now. That's almost the entire length of my career. In the very beginning, I had no business being on stage because I was saying things like, oh, this is how you're supposed to build your clientele. No, when I started listening to my own advice, I went home and I built my clientele. And I've opened 2 salons. And one of them was an utter failure, and we're not going to that, right? Awesome. But the other one I sold.
That's cool that you admitted that. That's rad.
I sold it, and now I rent a chair, just like many of you. I build my clientele Tuesday, I have a full day. And then Wednesday, I fly out to Phoenix, Arizona. Because I had a company that wanted me to teach a class. I'm going to go teach those people and tell them what it is that I'm doing in the salon. Because what I'm doing in the salon is working for me, and I hope it will work for you. So if you see one thing, just one tiny little thing, take that, take it home, be inspired. That's what this is about. And our team is phenomenal because we're all different. This stuff, I'm not even going to do half the stuff he does. I can't do half the stuff he does. But you know what? I can't do half the stuff that you guys do. There's a reason why you guys see me get off the stage a lot, because I'm no better than you. I'm not. I'm just some guy that loves what it is that I do, and I just happen to do the same thing as you, but some company has given me a platform.
That's pretty awesome, huh? And I didn't mean to rag on Ted Gibson because he's actually a really good friend of mine, but when he posted, you know, I'm kind of like Louis Vuitton, and then there's some people that are just kind of like Payless. That pissed me off. You know, he said that in a post. I'm like, oh, you're calling me Payless.
You're Shoe Carnival, okay? Like, you're yeah. Nordstrom Rack.
I'm going to blow dry just a little bit. Again, same thing. Basement, main floor, roof. Right? Instead of going in horizontally, because my client can't do that, I'm going to go in vertically because they can't pull it all the way over. I'm going to do it with my hands 99% of the time, and I only run a brush through the hair 3 times. Why? Once, twice, 3 times a lady. I also say that to them the entire time that I'm cutting their hair. That way, when they start blow drying their hair, when they get home, they start blow drying their own hair, they're like, once, twice, 3 times a lady? I'm like, God, I can't get you out of my mind. Like, yeah, it makes you teal so good. I make you teal like a natural woman.
If you keep up with those funds, I might teal over.
I'm going to buy a football team called Pittsburgh Tealers.
Of being on a team with this guy. What kind of trimmer is that? It's a roundy kind of movement, like, okay, that means she probably hasn't had a haircut in a while, right? So she canceled her hair appointment just to come in and get her hair come in and save. That's awesome. Sucks to be her hairdresser right now, but because I'm cutting it dry, there's a shampoo bowl, there's none of that beautiful stuff that they're getting. So what are they paying us for? Experience, the consultation, whatever it is that you want to give them, that's what they're paying you for. You control your own market. Understand that. You control your market. You control your price. Who gives a crap if you're $10 for a haircut or $1,200 or $75 or?
It's all the same.
Who cares? We can all get better. Yeah. Single clap. Yeah.
One clap. Single clap. Yeah. So just one. Everybody together. One clap.
So here we go though. Check this out. So we write, as Hottori Hanzo shares, we write curriculums to teach Sola salons, one of our big accounts, right? We also talk to beauty schools. We wrote an account, or anybody work for Sport Clips? Probably. Supercuts. So guess what? The minute I start saying like, oh yeah, that's Supercuts. Well, she's probably a fantastic freaking hairdresser.
I am. Okay.
All right? And everybody in here is. So if somebody works at Supercuts, awesome. If somebody works at this big, beautiful, top-notch salon, I have friends that work at big, beautiful, top-notch salons, and they're sitting all day because their haircut's so overpriced and people can't afford it. So here you go. Or they're not promoting themselves. You cannot promote yourself at $10, and you cannot promote yourself at $100. So they're paying for you. Sell you to them. If you have, and this